back to Hot Mess Mama.
And friends.
Welcome back to
Hot Mess Mama.
Welcome back to Minecraft.
Can you tell we've been playing some Minecraft video games? Actually, he doesn't even play Minecraft. He just watches people play Minecraft. But anyways, to take a break from all of the televisions and a break from all of the tablets, we are once again doing another little science experiment that talks about the weather, right?
Yeah,
we're taking advantage of the fact that we've got some crazy weather out there, and we're trying to explain it and to watch it, right? So what are we?
Your mind is gonna blow.
Your mind is gonna blow, right?
Blow.
What are we doing now? What are we learning about now?
Hurricanes.
No, not hurricanes, but something that can be just as dangerous. Exactly, tornadoes. Because when we had the hurricane come, remember the hurricane came and it brought a whole bunch of rain and wind and stuff. But the hurricane also, the dog is now all up in our business. Okay, go away, doggy. With the hurricanes, I guess it's pretty typical. I didn't know this, that like tropical storms and hurricanes can spin up a lot of tornadoes, right? And so we wanted to learn a little bit about tornadoes, right? So we decided that we were going to do tornado in a jar. So I don't know if you guys have ever done this before. I actually went online to try to understand how tornadoes are formed because I had this pie in the sky idea that I would try to teach him, but it's really actually quite complicated. And even the meteorologists, there's still so many unknowns. They don't even really know exactly how and when they're formed and how long they stick around and how they die. So there's like all these different factors that play into it, but
I know.
But it's just kind of crazy as to that we really don't know all there is to know about tornadoes. So I was like, I'm not even gonna try to explain it to him because there's all these like very high level explanations.
I know one.
Okay, he's gonna try to tell us how tornadoes are made.
When once it gets closer and closer, it gets weak. Once it gets on the land, it starts to lose all the tornado.
See, you're talking about hurricanes because hurricanes are really strong when they're out on the ocean, right? And then once they get to the land, they start to get weak. But once they get to the land, sometimes these little tornadoes pop up inside the hurricane once they get on the land.
And then sucks everything inside.
Right, and it's kind of super windy and stuff, right? It's super complicated, but apparently he gets it. I didn't get it. I have a whole cheat sheet here that I can tell you all about how they form. But in the meantime, let's get straight to it. Just a visual, right? So we got ourselves a jar here, and it is my assistant here helps me to focus on the jar, which we filled 3/4 full of just plain tap water, and we put like 1 or 2 drops of blue food coloring in it.
We mixed it up.
And then we kind of stirred it up with a spoon. And then Pinterest says,
I'm gonna put it in.
Pinterest says that you should put. Well, this one's kind of hard. Pinterest says that you need to put 1 teaspoon of dish soap.
I wanted to do it
into the glass. This is just your, dish soap. Clear dish soap, right?
I want to do it.
Well, we're gonna get there, boogers.
I can't even do anything.
You can do so much. It's just ridiculous. Okay, so we put in 1 teaspoon.
My turn.
Well, this is kind of hard. This one's heavy. And then we just have your, white vinegar. Then you're supposed to put in a teaspoon of white vinegar.
But I'm trying to say, can I dump it?
No, we can't dump it. It has to be exactly 1 teaspoon, and I am going to spill it all over. Okay, there's 1 teaspoon of vinegar, 1 teaspoon of liquid dish soap, like they said, like clear or blue. Well, ours is Dawn, so it's blue. And then you take your cap.
What are you going to do?
To the jar, and you turn it on.
Very good.
And then, hey, Darlene, how are you? And then supposedly, okay, now, and again, this could be a complete fail, and this may not show up very well in the video, but you're supposed to just
I want to do it.
Rotate your wrist. Rotating the wrist. Oh, rotating. And it's kind of sort of, can you see it's forming a funnel?
No.
Maybe I'm not rotating it enough.
Just do it like
Oh, there it is. Can you see it spinning there?
No.
Okay, I have to stop rotating. That's what it's about. So we're rotating, and we're stop. Look, you see it? You see it in there?
No.
He sees it.
I don't see it.
I guess it's key that you don't shake it. Are we supposed to shake it or turn it? You can barely see it in there.
I can't even see it.
Can you see it? Well, you can. Hold on.
I can't see it.
3 times a charm, people. 3 times a charm. Maybe I need to put more soap in there.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to put more vinegar. I'm following Pinterest, and Pinterest never fails.
Pinterest
Okay,
Pinterest
Pinterest
always fails.
Pinterest never fails. So we had this hurricane, this tornado in this jar, and so I think what happens is when I stop spinning, the vortex is left. Can you see it?
No.
There's the vortex. You can barely see it, but it's right in there.
I can't see it.
You know what? We'll just try to put a little bit more soap in there. Maybe
I'm
that's what
gonna
the
put it in.
No, because you're gonna get soap all over the place. Maybe we just need to put a little bit more soap in there. Stop your fussies.
I
1,
thought I
2,
was
3,
your
4.
trusty your six.
You are my trusty assistant.
Why
That I don't trust with soap and vinegar on my table. Okay, wait, shush. Okay. We added a little bit more soap. We added a little more vinegar.
Let's see what
We're
happens.
spinning. We're spinning.
And it toots out the gas.
Spinning and spinning and spinning. And we can see it here. It's very faint. Maybe I shouldn't have used quite so much food coloring. I only put 2 food coloring drops in here. So, okay, ready and done.
Okay, it looks like it is
Spinning.
It is.
Yes, you can see it spinning.
It is burping the gas out.
This is what happens at this hour of the day. Lots of poop and burping and fart talk. But honestly, okay, I'm gonna shake the jar, and then I'm gonna shake the jar first. Maybe I'm missing a step. Maybe we need to shake the jar and then turn the jar.
Yeah, I think that will happen. Good. Let's see.
There it is. Oh, you can see it when you get your head level. Maybe. Okay, hold on.
Wait, how'd you see it?
It's hard to see, so you kind of have to. I suggest a shake, and then a turn, and
then plop.
Can you see it?
No, I'm not seeing it. It looks nothing.
It's very hard to see, so you need to try it yourself, and you need to get off the table.
Yay!
So you need to try it yourself. I guess maybe I don't know. Maybe it would work with just the 1 tablespoon and the 1 tablespoon.
You can't see. You can't see.
I know. Hold on. We're gonna try it one more time. Ready?
Go.
And go. Can you see the vortex?
No,
I think it's coming. It's coming, and there it is.
I don't see it.
There it is. I can see it. So you need, I suggest that if you want it to be visible, that you use less food coloring than this. Maybe like 1 drop. And again, it's just 3/4 of a jar of water, a tablespoon of liquid dish soap, and a tablespoon of vinegar. Shake it up, twirl it up, and then you can see this vortex that's inside here. But again, I would suggest going a little bit lighter on the blue food coloring. But so he's gonna bail right now because I'm gonna start talking some stuff that's really high level. Say see you later, folks. Say see you later, folks. So so if you, there he goes, because his mind was blown, right? I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what I learned. I had to try to boil it all down so I could try to understand it, because at some point I'm probably gonna have to explain to my kids in a very basic way how tornadoes are formed. So basically, they come from thunderstorms. There's there's like the hurricanes that we know from like the Great Plains, and then there's hurricanes that come from tropical systems. And the ones from the Great Plains, basically it's like you got this cold air coming in from Canada and this warm air coming in from Mexico, and they're kind of meeting in the middle, and they make stuff unstable. And then there's this spin of air that like turns this system from a horizontal blow into a vertical blow, and then they spin very rapidly and they produce tornadoes, and that's where we have Tornado Alley. So it's this change in wind direction and speed, and this height creates this spin to go from horizontal to vertical. And this rising air and these updrafts and everything tilt it to go like this. So that's pretty much big, and those tornadoes, they don't last very long. They last like 1 to 10 minutes, and they go like, I don't know, speeds of less than 110 miles an hour. And those are the ones that we see kind of technically in Tornado Alley that are, produced by that cold and warm air meeting from Canada and Mexico. But and they're on this weird scale. Like you hear us talking about like the cat scales with the hurricanes, where there's like Cat 1, and which is not so bad, like supposedly not a bad hurricane, to like a Cat 5 hurricane, which we all know that's very subjective. But that they have a similar like rating scale. And you'll hear it, they'll be talking about it's like the E scale. It's I can't remember. Gosh, what was it? And it's named after somebody. I can't remember what it was, and I wrote it down. I was so impressed I actually knew what that meant. But yes, it's on an E scale of like 0 to 5. And so like the E0 tornadoes are of the lowest severity, and the E5s are of the highest severity, or something like that. So anyways, so they're ranked on that scale, very much like we rate hurricanes on the cat scale. But again, a lot is unknown, because they like really just don't know how they form, how they grow, and how they die, tornadoes. But those were the types that we were talking about that were like the land ones that come from like the Great Plains. But then there's these other ones that come in. They're like the tropical ones, right? And the tropical ones are different, and they kind of come out of hurricanes. So like you got your hurricane, right? And it's spinning and it's spinning and it's spinning. And this top, let me get this right. The top front right quadrant of the spin is where they're usually formed, these tornadic episodes. So what happens is that like they have the outer bands of the storm, of the hurricane, and this top right quadrant up here is where these hurricanes kind of start to like form, because that's where there's this like instability over here that's there. And it just basically, these like supercells of thunderstorms are residing here in this quadrant, and then they become unstable, and they kind of like create this abrupt change in wind speed and direction, and it causes a spin. So that's where you see these little offshoots of tornadoes that come off of this quadrant of hurricanes. So that we were right there, like our town in Greenville was right there in that particular quadrant. So we were getting all of these tornado warnings that were coming off like every 5 minutes. We were under these warnings. So it was kind of crazy. But yeah, so that's kind of how, but they're very weak and they're very short lived, but yet they're very hard to like predict. But they like, boom, they're here, they're gone. Or sometimes so you have cyclones that are up in the air, right? But they're not technically a tornado until they touch down. So that's another piece of tidbit of information again. But it's just this weird thing where you have this low level moisture that triggers a thunderstorm, and then the thunderstorm, apparently it's like the thunderstorm, this weird air mass hits, and then these tornadoes form. And see, there's all of these factors that go into how tornadoes are formed. And they're formed differently when you're talking about over the plains and when you're talking about over a tropical storm situation like a hurricane. So yeah, did I thoroughly confuse you? Because I confused myself. I had to go through lots of websites and YouTube tutorials to try to figure that out, but I hope that boils it down to you, or for you. But yeah, it's just basically instability in the air with cold and warm, and updrafts that spin it from horizontal to, yeah, you get it.
Mom, yeah, Virginia.
Okay, I have no idea what he just said, but apparently his mind is still blown. His mind is still blown from the experiment that we did here with the tornado in a jar. There it is. You see it, people? Can you see it? I know it's really hard to see because the lighting here is bad, but you can see it, right? Maybe if I turn my light off. I don't know. I feel like you guys are not getting the full effect. Your minds are not going to be blown. Your minds are not going to be blown because you cannot fully appreciate the vector. Can you see it? It's so hard to see because I'm getting a glare. Can you see it? Yeah, I can see it. I'm going to turn off the light back here to see if that helps. Probably not. We're a little pie in the sky here with this, but yes. Mine's still blown, still worth the try because you got this stuff in your cabinets. Can you see it now? Maybe I'm holding it too close. I can't. Again, go light on the food coloring, and you'll be good. I think they said 3 to 4 drops, and I put 2 in here. So that's how you create a tornado in a jar. Mind blown, I know. And I gave you a plethora of information that I pulled off of the internet. And if any of you are meteorologists, feel free to refute everything that I just said. But this is my understanding in basic layman's terms of how a tornado is formed over the plains and over the tropical systems. So thanks again for joining us. This is episode 3 today of trying to take advantage of the current hurricane situation and turning it into a learning experience. And I know that it's not just for us that are in the hurricane situation, but those that are watching a lot of the coverage on the news that is probably very constant and everywhere you turn, and your kids might be having questions, even if they live in Wisconsin or live in California, and they're wondering, how does this all happen? How does this all work? Well, Happy's Moment to the rescue. You can now successfully show them these broadcasts, and they can be chock full of weather knowledge. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll probably be doing another one. I don't know if today, but maybe tomorrow. I've got some other ones that are in mind. They may not be weather related. They might be food related. Like we might make some food related or candy related exercises, all for educational purposes, by the way. Thanks again for joining us. Have a fabulous night, and hot mom on.